Hello everyone. Some people just feel older than their age, not in looks, but in mind. In this video, we break down the real psychology behind being an old soul. Why death feels natural, why small talk feels exhausting, and why loneliness often comes with seeing the world a little differently. If you ever felt out of place around people your own age, this one is for you.
Some people just feel older than their age. Not in looks, not in style, in their mind. They sit in a room full of people their own age, talking about parties, drama, and trends, and they feel completely disconnected. Not because they're better, not because they're cold. It's because somewhere along the way, their mind grew faster than their years. This isn't a personality quirk, it's psychology. Let's break down what's actually happening inside the mind of an old soul. 1. They process life through depth, not distraction. Most people fill silence with noise. Old souls fill silence with thought. Where others scroll to escape boredom, an old soul sits with a feeling until they understand it. Their brain doesn't crave constant stimulation. It craves meaning. That's why small talk feels exhausting to them, but a 2-hour conversation about purpose feels like home. 2. They were forced to grow up early. Psychology shows that many old souls didn't choose maturity. Life handed it to them. A difficult childhood, an absent parent, a responsibility taken on too soon. Their nervous system learned to read rooms, manage emotions, and solve problems before most kids even had to think about it. The result is a mind that matured years ahead of the body carrying it.
3. They feel time differently.
While other people live for the weekend, old souls live for the bigger picture. They think in decades, not days. Where am I going? What does this choice cost me later? This forward-thinking mindset makes them seem distant or overly serious, but really, they're just calculating consequences most people ignore until it's too late. 4. They crave connection, but rarely find it. Here's the lonely part. Old souls don't struggle to find people, they struggle to find people who match their depth. They can be in a room full of friends and still feel completely alone because conversation stays on the surface while their mind wants to go underwater. This isn't arrogance, it's a mismatch between how deeply they think and how deeply most interactions go. 5. They carry emotional weight that isn't always theirs. Old souls absorb. They notice the friend who's struggling before anyone else does. They sense tension in a room before a word is spoken. Psychology calls this heightened emotional attunement. And while it makes them incredible listeners and quiet protectors of the people around them, it also means they carry feelings that were never theirs to begin with. Their empathy becomes a weight disguised as a gift. 6. They question things most people accept without thinking. Why do we live like this? Why does this rule even exist? Why is everyone chasing the same thing? Old souls rarely accept the default script of life. Not because they want to be difficult, but because their mind refuses to move forward without understanding the why first. This constant questioning can look like rebellion from the outside, but on the inside, it's simply how they make sense of the world.
7. Solitude recharges them more than socializing does. This one confuses people the most. An old soul isn't antisocial, but their energy doesn't come from being around others. It comes from being alone with their own thoughts. A quiet evening, a long walk, a notebook, and a pen, that's where they actually refuel. Psychology refers to this as introspective restoration, the brain processing and resetting through reflection rather than interaction. Eight, they often feel out of place in their own generation. This is the part that stings the most. Old souls watch people their age chase trends, validation, and shallow wins, and something inside them just doesn't connect. It's not judgment, it's disconnection. They feel like they're living one timeline ahead, watching everyone else move at a pace that no longer fits who they've become. That gap is often the loneliest part of being an old soul. So, what does this all mean? Being an old soul isn't about acting mature for attention or quoting deep things online. It's a different operating system entirely. A mind shaped by depth, early responsibility, heightened awareness, and a constant search for meaning in a world that often settles for distraction. It's not always comfortable. Sometimes it feels like watching life from a slightly different angle than everyone else. But it also means you see things other people miss. You feel things other people brush past. And eventually, you find your people, the ones who finally match your depth. And everything that once felt lonely starts to feel like clarity instead. If any of this felt a little too accurate, that's not a coincidence. That's your mind recognizing itself. So tell me honestly, in the comments, which sign hit you the hardest? I read every single one. If this made you think differently, hit subscribe. We go deeper every day. Don't forget to like the video. It helps more people find messages like this.